then it just disappeared? Or is this actually something that was predictive and actually occurred? Not just Kamala Harris, but the old black media failing to push her on black society, and that they were in a panic. Did that panic go away, or did that panic stay? Did the panic go away, or did it stay? February 10th, 2019, Redeemer Racist, Virginia Governor Northam. Remember that? And Roland Martin was trying to explain away. Oh, we should all go back and go take a look at that one now, shouldn't we? Because Roland was explaining about not throwing away Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, Mr. Coon Man. Roland Martin was saying that we shouldn't throw away this man's track record. Oh, does anybody forgot about that? Okay. Because remember, I talked about that then. And it's a good thing that we did, because your old black media, Roland Martin, Tom Joyner, they weren't saying anything negative. They were trying to bail out Ralph Northam. They were trying to bail him out. It was the new black media that said no. But your old black media was trying to say, well, he just made a mistake. If you get rid of him, what you gonna have? So it's something about Roland Martin and butt dancing he really, really likes. You'll remember February 9th, I made my video, Cory Booker, the coming sex abuse scandal, and how Cory, now you see a year later, Cory is trying to convince the world that he's heterosexual. February 14th, once again, I went back, proof that Charlemagne lied defending Kamala Harris. That Breakfast Club interview was disastrous, but it wasn't disastrous because of them. The right question was asked, but it was our ability to give the insight and analysis. That was what made it fatal. February 16th, Big Black and Broken, Terry Crews tries to lecture black men on toxic masculinity. How'd that turn out for Terry? Oh yeah, the same LGBT and feminist factions that he was trying to pander to and cater to and kiss ass on. Oh yeah, they all wound up turning on him, didn't they? He spent all that time kissing their asses, and they all ended up turning on him, didn't they? Oh, that's how that turned out. Oh, okay. Just making sure we all keep the score. The next day, February 17th, the Jussie Smollett hoax. Now, people remember, I was, from the very first day, I was saying that Jussie Smollett's story didn't make any sense and that I didn't believe it. From the very first day, I was saying that. From day one, go check my Twitter. Very first day, I said, nah, this doesn't sound right at all. But Kamala Harris said, yeah, this is what we need. And Cory Booker said, yeah, we need to do this Equality Act. And Roland Martin and the old black media, they all started walking in lockstep, remember? The old black media said, we need to support Jussie Smollett. The new black media said, no, we do not. This is a Trojan horse, and history has borne us out. If you didn't see my last program, dissecting the rest in peace of the old black media, we showed you where Roland Martin was from day one saying this was a homophobic attacks. This was a homophobic attacks on our good buddy, Jussie Smollett. Remember that? It was the new black media that said, no, it's not. It matters where you get your information. It matters who is reliable to you. It matters who you listen to. Are you listening to people with a track record of being wrong, a track record of backtracking on their statements and telling you, oh, that's not really what we meant, or a place that has been rock-ribbed and consistent and uncompromising and predictive in what we tell you? Black folk are so far behind, you need a media that puts you ahead of the news, not that gives you up-to-date information, but gives you the news before it happens. Put us up against Swollen Martin, and you can see one of us predicted where things were going to end up on a consistent basis, not just one thing across the board. And the other one is still out there trying to find themselves. It's a matter of life and death, and where you get your information from and who you listen to, that matters. February 26th, why Black people don't trust Bernie Sanders. I was one of the very first people, and I've been beating the drum before then. I was one of the very first people to say, Bernie Sanders ain't the lick either. Now, while some of your undercover in the closet LGBT pretending to be descendants of slaves activists were sitting up here and promoting Killer Mike and anybody else who was supporting Bernie Sanders, they were trying to sell us on Bernie Sanders, then trying to sell us on Marianne Williamson. But the new Black media has been calling it correctly from the very start. So when they started floating Bernie Sanders' name, that didn't work either. Now, if you all remember, in January, I've been warning they're coming for R. Kelly for real, for real. This is before the Jussie Smollett hoax had caught any legs. March 10th, protecting infamy, R. Kelly's arrested. March 16th, cheating at the school of white privilege. So all these well-to-do white celebrities who have been bribing people to give their kids grades or to accept them to these Ivy League universities while telling Black folk, you need a degree. You don't have enough degrees. You need to go to school and get the right degree. Meanwhile, these white folk are paying somebody and getting their kids in school to get some phony ornamental decorative degree. They're paying to get their kids degrees while telling Black folk that we need to study harder. Meanwhile, they got the game rigged before you show up. This is what we're dealing with. March 23rd, 2019, a broadcast that is going to live in the hearts and minds of people because it was the first time ever that anybody had actually investigated Representative Sheila Jackson Lee's sham revival of Representative John Conyers' H.R. 40. Up until then, your LGBT activists pretending to be American descendants of slaves activists, they were all in line. These Democratic puppets, these Democratic Party agents from the very beginning were trying to sell us all on H.R. 40 and specifically said, quote, this is reparations. Now, that's what your LGBT leadership, pretending to be American descendants of slaves activists, said. When Sheila Jackson Lee presented that, they said, oh, we got reparations. All right, we good. We good. H.R. 40, we got reparations. We good. Until I actually read the bill. I actually read the bill live here on the air, and explain to you all, not only is this not really a study, this thing gives President Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell and Joe Biden, you know, the spotless record on race, it gives them a say in what the study is going to end up as. And oh yeah, they're going to hand pick individuals that they say are authorities on reparations to give them information on what reparations should be and if we should get it. So your LGBT activists pretending to be American descendants of slaves activists, while they were cheering and doing victory laps, I was the only one who said, stop everything. We're going to read this bill and you all need to know what the hell is in it. And after I did that, your double agent activists did a 180 and all of a sudden they didn't like HR 40 anymore because you couldn't sell it to the people anymore. And from there, it caught fire. From there, it went viral. From there, everybody turned on HR 40. Even when they had their sham ass hearing, when they brought those people in, man, the verdict was already in. Now, do you notice who wasn't saying that HR 40 was a problem? Your American descendants of slaves, sham Democrat puppets, they said HR 40 was a good thing. Oh, yeah. And Swollen Martin and Tom Joyner and the old black media, they were cheering for HR 40 also. They were cheering for it too and saying, well, we got our reparations. And now everybody get back on board and vote Democrat. You want them reparations, don't you? Well, you better vote Democrat. But I got my people hip to the game back in March. March 30th, 2019. Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. Long before anybody was talking about descendants of slaves, I've been saying for years, Pan-Africanism is a two-way street. We set the terms of the debate a long time ago. We set the terms of the debate a long time ago. So as Black people, putting folk ahead of the curve, that was essential. March 31st, 2019, having strong enemies. I spoke on the murder of our brother, Nipsey Hussle. We'll never see his like again. But it's essential that we remember and that we ride. It is essential that we remember and that we ride. It's essential. It's essential. I was saying it back then. April 6, 2019, I did my broadcast about inventing phony revolutionaries. Now, did you all notice that at the same time you had this convergence happen? You had individuals say, we're going to start discussing reparations. Then you had Sheila Jackson Lee telling you, oh, here's HR 40. Then you had Joy Reid on MSNBC. Bring on Sheila Jackson Lee. They had never talked about it before then, but all of a sudden, here comes Sheila Jackson Lee getting on MSNBC and they're talking about reparations. And then they brought out Big Bird in the banana suit. This guy from N-Cobra, a group that nobody had ever heard of, that they claim was out here working for decades, and yet nothing was getting done. And then as soon as this nigga opened his mouth, you realize why nothing was getting done, because he just wants a luncheon and a little old nonprofit check. But reparations for him means whatever white folk tell him reparations is. And he was gonna back it no matter what. So the white media attempted to resuscitate life and use N'COBRA as their cardboard cutout. And we put so much pressure on them that XM Radio, they wound up yanking them all the damn way off. He couldn't control his behavior in public, and we got him completely yanked up off the block. Completely yanked up off the block. But remember, they were trying to prop up N'COBRA to be the spokespersons for reparations. They were trying to prop up N'COBRA to be the spokespeople for reparations. We wound up squashing that real quick, didn't we? April 6, 2019. It was a very good year. April 13th, 2019, that was the end of Ebony Magazine. The old black media was basically just settling into its grave. At that point, the old black media was simply settling into its grave. You did not serve the people's interests. You didn't do right by the people. You are going to suffer the inevitable result of not serving the interests of the people. April 28, 2019. Joe Biden, the return of the beast, the architect of the modern prison industrial complex and three strikes legislation that was first introduced in the feds, and then the federal government incentivized the states to repeat it and duplicate it locally. I predicted that Joe Biden was coming, and he did. And unfortunately for him, we ready. This time will be much different from the last time. This time we're ready. This time we're ready. April 4th, 2019. I talked about Muhammad Noor. First time you've seen white society, all of a sudden they didn't like a cop shooting somebody. All of a sudden they didn't like that. They didn't like that all of a sudden. May 11th, 2019. I did my updated version of the 5 Steps to Nazi Germany. And YouTube immediately hid the video. But for those of you who want to see it, I'm showing that it's available. For years, people have asked me to do an update to the 5 Steps to Nazi Germany. So just remember that that is available now. You can go check that out. May 11, 2019. We didn't get here accidentally. We got here the right way. We got here by working for it. June 19th, 2019, I gave live commentary on the so-called congressional reparations hearing. And in real time, I was letting you all know who was for it, who was against it, and basically nobody who was there was in favor of cash reparations. Every half of the people said we shouldn't get anything at all. The other half said, well, it can be whatever Congress gives. No wonder these Negroes have never made any real money. This is how they negotiate. When they get in front of white folk, they don't negotiate for an amount. They just say, well, boss, whatever you give me. So I did a live broadcast on that so people could hear exactly what the hell was going on. Then you had Coleman Cruz in his drawers dancing his way on the damn subway. And that was the type of character. I want you to think about this for a few moments. Coleman Cruz was in his drawers, he put it on the internet for everybody to see. He was in his drawers on the subway, and that is what qualified to sit in front of Congress and discuss our reparations. Someone who doesn't even qualify for reparations, but that was what they drug up there to weigh in on whether or not we should get reparations or not. It would be outrageously funny if it weren't for the fact he was really there. If it weren't for the fact I'm telling the truth, it would be hilarious. But he was actually there. He was really there. Now, when we get into the summer of 2019, everybody from James Clyburn, Laura Ingraham, the Democratic debates had started. Man, they started out with their full court press that Black people just need to shut up and vote Democrat. Stop putting them on the spot. Just do like you've been doing. Vote them in the office and then hope for the best. You give them your vote now and they'll make it up to you on the back end. You vote for us today and we'll make it up to you on the back end. Same old lie you've been selling. Same old lie that you've been selling. You weren't ready. But the new Black media got everybody on code. We got everybody ready. And by the time the Democratic debates had started, reparations, defined as cash payments, was the only meal on the menu. And you started watching people fold like lawn chairs and fall off left and right. July 6, 2019, Revenge of the Outcast, Bowling Ball Martin was attempting to get his relevance back, and unfortunately for him, the new Black media was right there. We were right there to put the hickory on his backside. You're not gonna take some time off and sink out of public view and then resurrect yourself and reinvent yourself later. You won't be allowed to do that. We're gonna keep you at the forefront and make sure that people do not remember who you are and what you did and why you cannot be allowed to speak. We're making sure of that. July 13th, very quickly, if y'all remember, I did a program, Obama, the anti-reparations Trojan horse. When Obama was in office, he argued against reparations. And I told you all that every excuse, if Black folk didn't clamp down on Obama while he was in office, just remember that when the next white president gets into office and the next one will be white, that happened. He is going to use every excuse that Obama used that we accepted while Obama was in office. Those will be the excuses that your white politicians bring to us after he's out of office. And that's exactly what they've been trying to do. Now, fortunately, we've been able to overcome that. But this is the real hazard and the real danger and the real threat of supporting an Obama. Because he's going to he's the soft white supremacist who arms the hardcore ones, and you make no progress either which way. July 14th, 2019, Donald Trump has Immigration and Customs Service going out and rounding up illegals. Amazing, because a lot of these Latinos and non-Latinos, actually, there's some Black folk too. A lot of these Black immigrants supported Trump. And then they're coming around and rounding them all up. I just found that to be rather ironic. Rather ironic. July 21st, 2019. First they fight you, then you win. Whose agenda do you serve? When Killer Mike was talking to the LGBT activists who claimed to be American descendants of slaves activists, I did the program there explaining why this was a problem. I was saying it back then. Professor Black Truth was saying it back then. And Mike has been trying to walk that backwards ever since. That is the benefit and the reward for being uncompromising. Then comes late July 2019, and every weekend just about, there was a white supremacist going around shooting places up, targeting Mexicans for the most part, Texas, California. The summer of 2019, first you send out Immigration and Customs Service to go round people up. Next thing you know, white supremacists, vigilantes are gunning people down in the middle of the street. They're gunning people down in mass. Do you see a connection? Well, we were trying to warn people about this the whole damn time. When they were calling us black identity extremists, we couldn't get Latinos to jump up and say anything. As soon as the shooting starts, all of a sudden, hey, we're all minorities. So that was how that turned out for them. How's it working? And then, of course, August 17th, becoming OJ. Now, I talked about Jay-Z. That was a tough one for a lot of people to swallow there, but Jay-Z, back in August, I was saying this. Jay-Z's becoming OJ. People said, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Well, now there's no longer any doubt. The new black media had you ahead of the curve. By the time everybody else caught up to us, we already had boots on necks. This was a difficult thing for a lot of people to swallow, but it was necessary. It was necessary. We followed that up September 8th, going more in depth about why these rappers and celebrities are no longer to be trusted. September 14th, LGBT bullies and babble. Malik Yoba, who apparently, if you're talking to Mushmouth and Hook Jaw, I'm sure they'll be upset. Remember, folks, in the beginning, there was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve that. Oh, wait a minute. Let me reread this. Anyway, back to what we were saying here, though. September 14, 2019. This LGBT thing trying to christen itself and say that LGBT and pro-black are the same thing. Malik Yoba made the play. He was the crash dummy who was going to be the willing sacrifice to try to smuggle in that LGBT and pro-black are the same thing. And we ran him up off the yard immediately. The Breakfast Club tried to play dumb. They couldn't save it. Your old black media tried to cape for him. They couldn't save it. Let's be very clear. It was we here in the new black media, not your LGBT undercover activists pretending to be American descendants of slaves activists, not them. We were the ones speaking about this and not allowing them to hijack the black agenda and say the black agenda needs to be an LGBT agenda. Watch out for anybody telling you that the black agenda includes you need to be against homophobia, sexism, transphobia. We need to be focused on blackness, and that is all. But now you're seeing as people are starting to show their true colors. But remember, the new black media has been focused like a laser beam. We never moved, we never wavered. While other people are still trying to find their souls, we never moved and we never wavered. I did my broadcast on September 21st, Bait and Snitch. Shout out to Tekashi Snitch 6'9". Also discussed how neglecting the black vote backfires. Corny Cory Booker thought he was going to cobble together a, quote, coalition of non-blacks, gays, softcore white supremacists. He thought he was going to cobble that together and that was going to help him. It didn't work for him either now, did it? That didn't work either. That didn't work either. But that's what he was trying to sell. September 28th, 2019, I spoke about Amber Geiger and the killer cop cult. She was finally on trial. The white female police officer in Dallas, Texas, finally on trial for the murder of Botham Jean. She claimed she was walking into her own apartment. She was walking into his. Claimed she thought she was walking into her apartment and murdered him in cold blood. And at the same time, do you all realize the very next day, September 29th, the very next day, remember, that was when Nancy Pelosi and friends were pushing for impeachment. And I said back then, this impeachment thing is a sideshow. We're trying to focus on putting white supremacists in jail, and Nancy Pelosi wants to change the conversation to impeachment. I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened at the same time. I don't think it's a coincidence that it happened at the same time. Yes, people remember, I predicted George Zimmerman would be found guilty. I predicted that Amber Geiger, I predicted that George Zimmerman would be found innocent and that Amber Geiger would be found guilty. Long before the trials were had, I predicted that Zimmerman would be found innocent and Geiger would be found guilty. You need to have people who can accurately pinpoint the results long before they occur so that we can take the necessary corrective action. By having somebody in the new black media be able to do that, that's how you got the results you did, not because of ambulance chasing attorneys. That's not what did it. It never is. Now, next was October 4th, 2019. October 4th, 2019 was a watershed moment for the new black media. It was a watershed moment for real black America. You see, over a year before any of this had begun, long before this had happened, I had started making moves. I realized what was going on and I started making moves. I started making moves then. And once it was clear that the Dallas Police Department was trying to figure out a way to let her off the hook, I went into my own pockets. I wasn't sitting up here begging. I wasn't waiting on somebody else to make the first move. I went into my own pockets and I bought several billboards in Dallas, Texas. That was my money. If you want to fight white supremacist propaganda, you've got to have black empowerment media. Bowling Ball Martin didn't do it. Tom Joyner broadcast out of Dallas, Texas. Tom Joyner is stationed out of Dallas, Texas, has a hell of a lot more resources than I do, didn't say a word, didn't lift a finger. It took the real black media to go over to Dallas, Texas, and begin the drumbeat that the good cops are not holding the bad cops accountable. Amber Geiger's defense attorneys, they must have been quaking in their boots and crying to hear on the local media that there were billboards calling out. They must have been shaking in their boots when they realized, I'll be damned, somebody's bought billboards saying that we need to hold cops accountable. We don't need this kind of trouble. We don't need these kind of problems. I didn't make excuses for what I didn't have. The new black media didn't make excuses. We made it happen. Understand that. Those billboards at the bottom, you can see it said paid for by the Black Channel. We didn't sit up here and give you excuses. We gave you counter programming to the white supremacists right there in Dallas. Long before the trial ever happened, we were laying the groundwork for justice long before the trial had ever happened. We didn't wait till the last minute and hope that there would be some good Christians on the jury. I got up off of my ass. I opened my checkbook because you see, the people telling all of you that you're going to get justice through politics, that you're going to get justice without finance, the people telling you that you don't need, that capitalism doesn't work and that money doesn't get you justice, those people were trying to do victory laps off of the black empowerment media that we paid for. Do you understand that? They were trying to get credit for what we did, with them saying that money don't matter. I went to Dallas, Texas and showed the whole damn world money matters. You want justice, you need finance. I didn't sit up here and run my mouth. I opened up my checkbook and I cut the check and I said, I know you're going to try to lynch this man. I know you're going to have your white supremacist propaganda. There's going to be something resembling a counter argument, and it's going to be right here in Dallas, Texas, right where everybody can see it, right off of major interchanges. And there it was. The media saw it. They were talking about it. The white supremacists were pulling at their shirts and tearing their hair out. While the niggas who were telling you that they were going to get change for the descendants of slaves, but at the same time telling you that money doesn't matter, entrepreneurship doesn't matter, buying black and banking black doesn't matter, being financially literate doesn't matter. Go ask Botham Jean's family if my financial literacy mattered. Go ask Botham Jean's family if my entrepreneurship mattered. Go and ask the white supremacist media in Dallas, Texas, who were sitting up here biting their tongues and ripping their lips over seeing what we were putting up out there. Go ask them if my financial literacy and my entrepreneurship mattered. You go ask them if it made a difference. In 2016, ask Hillary Clinton if the black media made a difference. Ask Kamala Harris if the new black media and cut the check made a difference. Ask Amber Geiger if those billboards were a non-issue. Ask the radio hosts in Dallas and the internet trolls and the white supremacists in Dallas if it made a difference. You go ask them if it didn't matter. Go ask them. Oh no, I don't just bring receipts, I bring invoices. I don't just tell you what you paid, I tell you what you owe. And let me tell you, a bunch of broke bummy niggas sitting on their mama's couch in Los Angeles didn't make a damn thing happen. You need money to finance a revolution. Let me say that again. You need money to finance a revolution. Somebody sitting up here begging for a handout, and when it's time to make moves, they can't make no moves. So when I saw the white media moving, I said, for something like this, we've got to push back. So no, once I saw that things were moving in a certain direction, I said, yeah, she's going to be found guilty. We laid the groundwork beforehand. She's going to be found guilty. Because now this is what the white media in Dallas said. They said because she wasn't likable. Who was beating the drum on her not being likable? You could see how cold-blooded she was. But people, it was also because they couldn't support the police as a group. As a group, the police could not be supported as a group. That thin blue line and Blue Lives Matter, that didn't hold water. You know why? Because it was out in the open. People were openly saying, why don't the good so-called good cops hold the bad cops accountable? That was what we did. Let me know what anybody else was doing. That was what we did. And let me say this so that there is no misunderstanding. When I say that I got the billboard, I'm just the messenger. Let me be very clear about that. You see, I don't have to tell anybody about, oh, you need to look at me and I need somebody to acknowledge me. I don't care about that. That's why the billboard says the Black Channel and not Jason Black. It doesn't matter. We did this. You and me, all of you who have had my back, all of you who have helped to build this channel, all of you who have helped build Black empowerment, all of you who have helped to create the new Black media, we did this. We are Jason Black. I'm just the guy who called Lamar and showed up with the check. I'm just that guy. But all of us made it happen. One man doesn't get this done. One man can cut the check, but one man doesn't beat the drum ruthlessly and relentlessly. One man by himself doesn't do that. One person can send out the call, but you need the people to show up. You need the banners to show up. You need the armies to show up so you can get things done. Amber Geiger is going to spend probably the next 5 years, hopefully the next decade, cooling her heels in prison. Because when she first got arrested, we made it very clear and very public while Roland Martin and Tom Joyner were cowering under their beds, hoping for a job from Hillary Clinton. We made it clear that we want justice, and justice means prison. So if you want to know why the trial of Amber Geiger turned out the way it did, it was because we were stomping for it in public. We didn't open our mouths, we opened our checkbooks. We did not ask for justice, we demanded it and made it happen. While these other folks were sitting on the internet talking about what wasn't going to happen and what couldn't be done. People, are you going to gather around folks who have a track record of success and a track record of making things happen? Or are you going to gather around people who are lifelong habitual failures and don't make anything happen except a bunch of damn talk? When you want people to sit up here and run their mouths about how you don't need to be homophobic, go join them folks over there. But if you want to see cops who murder Black folk put in prison, if you want to see justice for murdered Black children, if you want to see Black empowerment shouted from the mountaintops and written into law and daily practice, get over here. We're making it happen. October 5th, 2019, the fallout. Judge Tammy the Mammy Kemp found herself in the crosshairs of the new Black media. She She sat up there and decided she was going to get something for herself and found out, this was the wrong time to try this. This was the wrong time to go for it. This was a bad move. This is not going to go well for you. October 6, 2019, student athlete tycoon. When California made it legal for college athletes to profit off of their face and their likeness, I told everybody the floodgates are about to burst open from sea to shining sea. There were people trying to sit up here and be these armchair analysts, Negroes who don't have $2 to negotiate with anybody. And then they want to try to tell me what wasn't going to happen. They ain't going to happen, Jason. They ain't going to go for it. It's not going to go through. Well, not only did it go through, the NCAA has folded. And now just understand, every state is just going to figure out how they want to make this go forward. I told you it was happening when it was occurring. These other folks didn't. Do you want people who are figuring it out as they go along? Do you want tongue-tied mush mouths trying to steal my phrases? I'm not guessing my way through this. You are. I'm not guessing my way through this. People, how many things is it that I said before it happened? You go down my list of videos, you go down my list of broadcasts, and it reads like tomorrow's newspaper delivered to you today. It reads like next week's newspaper delivered to you today. This is what it means to be the black media. We just can't be good. We have to be predictive. We can't just be good. We have to predict what's going to happen before it occurs. Next up, well, Elijah Cummings, A Life of Fear and Failure. Elijah Cummings was in Congress for decades, representing Baltimore. Elijah Cummings could have been a power broker for black people. He sold out, and at every turn, he was empowering everybody except us, and he was proud to do so. When it was time to speak up for black people, he mumbled. Go back and listen to that broadcast, A Life of Fear and Failure. When it was time to represent black people, Elijah Cummings was against us. Let's be very, very clear here. Elijah Cummings was not someone who was working on behalf of black people, and he was trying to get things done, but what he was trying to do didn't meet expectations. That he was aiming big and for black folk and just couldn't make it happen. That wasn't what occurred. That wasn't what occurred, people. Elijah Cummings was consistently against black people. He was consistently against us. When it was time to speak on behalf of black people, he mumbled. I played the video for you during that broadcast. He literally mumbled. But when he was talking about illegals, he was shouting and ripping the damn government representatives apart. That was his idea of representing black people. So no, I had nothing good to say. He wasn't a guy with good intentions that went bad. He was against us. He was against us. He lived his entire life trying to undermine us. I wish I could have said he was alone, but I would not be accurate. And it appears not done yet. Not done yet. Let me be clear. I am not someone to dance on people's graves. I'm not one of those people who does that. I am not. But John Lewis ain't dead yet. So there's the first thing. By the way, John Lewis ain't dead yet. If Elijah Cummings was the devil's advocate, John Lewis has been the devil. John Lewis, who is, in my eyes, obviously LGBT, he has spent his entire time, he has been one of the chief cheerleaders and foot soldiers of the white supremacist political establishment, that every time we start talking about Black people and Black issues, John Lewis has made it his job to be the human shield that changes the subject. John Lewis has happily sat up here at every turn and attempted to change the subject. Every time it's time to discuss Black people and Black people's issues, this man has now spent decades showing up at the luncheons, showing up at the cocktail parties, jumping up on CNN and attempting to change the subject every damn time. Every time he shows up, the subject becomes about illegals, LGBT, feminists. As soon as we mention Black people, it's like, yeah, I'll get back to you on that. So John Lewis has never been a Black representative. And these cable networks, he's talking about civil rights icons, civil rights. Yeah, that's the right thing to say, because he's been nothing for Black rights. He's done nothing for Black people's rights. He's done nothing at all. He's just sat here and said, well, you are just on your own. I'm here to represent LGBT and non-citizens. But as far as you niggas, you on your own. Matter of fact, let me jump in my lowrider and go cruising back across Edmund Pettus Bridge. John Lewis can't count. John Lewis cannot point to a single significant win that he has ever gotten, much less even championed on behalf of Black people. You can't point to a single specific, tangible, given specifically to Black people, specifically to benefit Black people. You can't point to a single one. John Lewis has been a willing collaborator. And he has lived a life where he can only be ashamed of his actions. And I hope that the fact that we have been uncompromising about him sets the groundwork and the framework for what we expect in the future. The civil rights generation gleefully abided by their collaborators and traitors. We will not do the same thing. We will not do the same thing. John Lewis, all I can say is what a waste. But then again, John Lewis also serves as a cautionary tale. John Lewis and his actions serve as a cautionary tale about what happens in Black society when we allow mush-mouth, tongue-tied, ADHD, special ed Negroes to be the ones that white society chooses to be our representatives. Johnny Cochran wasn't mush-mouthed and tongue-tied. Dr. John Henry Clark wasn't mush-mouthed and tongue-tied. Chancellor Williams wasn't mush-mouthed and tongue-tied. Dr. Claude Anderson, Amos Wilson, they weren't, Francis Cress Wilson, they weren't mush-mouthed and tongue-tied. And we've had a habit of just whatever Negro stumbles in the room, we allow him to sit here and stumble and bumble and mumble his way to putting us right back on the damn plantations. So John Lewis should serve as a cautionary tale that when we see a Negro coming up talking like Benjamin Crump. And he shows up telling y'all, you need to use your imagination. When we see somebody coming up mumbling at us, we need to tell him, look, dude, you need to sit in the back and sweep the floor. That's what you need to do. You can't speak for yourself. You damn sure don't need to speak for us. People, let's just make it plain. No more mushmouth people dealing with inferiority complexes, because those are the people most easily co-opted. They're the ones most easily co-opted. They can't talk their way out of a wet paper bag. They need somebody to sponsor them. So next time you see some mumble-mouth Negro talk about, I'm here to speak on behalf of the black folks out there. I'm here to speak on behalf of all y'all. When you hear them start off like that, it's like, yeah, Playboy, fall back. We can already see you're going to get very easily bought off. Fall back. Fall back. We need people who can actually speak for us. They go off and get some mumble-mouth Negro, and then we're shocked when he's the first one to sell us out. He comes out talking good from the beginning, but when they get behind closed doors, he's already cut a deal. So since you're very good for sitting in the back of the classroom and chewing the bubble gum under the desk and licking your toenails and sucking on the doors on the lockers in the back of the classroom, you just stay back there and play your position. That's your position. You do that. You do that. But let me tell you, brothers and sisters, the future is going to be Black empowerment. The future will be expanding minds and adequate, healthy, intelligent vocabularies. The future is not going to be mumble mouths, moist dudes, and stiff broads. That's not going to be the future. I'm just saying, not going to be the future. Next up, the Mammy Gene. Roland Martin brought on Tammy the Mammy. Judge Kemp from Amber Geiger's trial, she was splaining up one side and down the damn other. And all they could sit there and do was say, yes, boss, yes, boss. But the new Black media wasn't having it. And we see how that broke down for them now. But understand, you got there because we were on code. November 9th, 2019, the New York Times versus ADOS. I was sounding the alarm then. I gathered the invoices then. And we've all seen how it played out. We all saw how it played out. November 24, 2019, stop and frisk failed. Michael Bloomberg wants to be president, but the new Black media was there. It's a good thing we were, because the old Black media was giving him pass. November 29, 2019, Black Friday. I gave the definitive analysis about how these bought and paid for Democrat puppet groups claiming to represent descendants of slaves. I explained how I explained and broke down and dissected the puppet groups. And let me tell you something else, people. A year from now, these puppet groups, these Democrat-controlled front groups that are attempting to hijack the discussion about Black empowerment and tell us that reparations means LGBT and feminism and sexism and whatever you want it to mean. And it means helping our buddies, helping our rich buddies who ain't did a damn thing for us, By this time next year, these individuals are going to be retired on the trash heap of anonymity, and we're going to mention them in the same breath and the same voice that we do Black Lives Matter. Does anybody remember them? How big of a power broker is DeRay McKesson today? And he had the full court, full front press of the white media behind him. DeRay McKesson had the full enthusiastic support of the white media behind him. They were talking about this was going to be the next great civil rights leader. Oh, yeah. And just like Stiff Jaw Carnell, they were talking about an LGBT. Oh, pushes all the right buttons, LGBT. And we all saw how that turned out. We all saw how that turned out now, didn't we? So everybody, you can go ahead and document this broadcast. You can't have a movement led by an inarticulate baboon who has no core principles and turns back from what they said 20 minutes ago. So in a year from now, mark my words, we'll be mentioning them in the same discarded, dismissed breath that we do Black Lives Matter. This is Black Lives Matter 2.0. The real black media is going to be here. We've been here. We're going to be here. And then, of course, November 30th, we're talking about results or excuses. That's very, very important. December 15th, let me back up a little bit. December 14th, Cut the Check takes over. Billionaire Tom Steyer wants to run for president and specifically mentions cut the check. We're not on our way to controlling the narrative. We control it now. We're not on our way to controlling the narrative. We now control the narrative. We need to understand the level of power that we have. They are responding to us. They're responding to us. And that's where you want it to be. They're trying to figure out how to circumvent our will, and it's not going to happen. December 15th, end of a useless era. Tom Joyner, the last major pillar of the old black media, the old bootlick media, has fallen. Tom Joyner concedes that the reason he fell off is because his audience had shrunk too small for him to remain viable, because he was being paid based on the audience pull that he had. And that over the last decade, his audience has been cut in half. People over the last decade, what happened a decade ago? You can't say
welcome to another episode of Modern
Radio audience. You know why? Because whenever I show up on people's radio programs, the audience spikes. If you're actually speaking to the people about their issues, you will have an audience. If you're attempting to circumvent the people and their issues, you won't have an audience. That's the way this works, Uncle Tom Joyner. And now we come to where we are now. I want to tell you all, thank you. I know you love it when I do the Black Ayatollah thing. I know you love it because I'm expressing the outrage and I'm articulating the angst and the anger that you have and the pent-up frustration. And I've got a big enough megaphone that you know it's going out everywhere. But I want to thank all of you for standing by us. I want to thank all of you for supporting this. I want to thank all of you for not being passive spectators. Because understand something, I'm telling you something that these other people have never said to you. Without you, there is no new black media. There's just a guy on YouTube. There's just a guy on Twitter. There's just a guy buying billboards. Without you, there is no new black media. So when I say that you and me and us and we are the black media, that's what I mean. We didn't have many resources. We didn't have any big sponsorship. We didn't have big money behind us. We just had a goal and an agenda and a code and the overwhelming desire to rebuild this thing. That was what we started with, and that's where we are today. Only now we're way bigger than we ever were. We're way more influential than we ever were. People are quaking in their boots when we tell black people what the word's gonna be and what the agenda is gonna be. And we've been featured everywhere, from your gossip columns, your major papers, TMZ. Black empowerment is on the agenda. Black empowerment, as defined by us, is what's on the agenda. Nothing else. You have an uncompromising vision of where we need to go now. And I want to thank all of you for helping to make this possible. So when I say we are the black media, I'm including you. So without further ado, what I'd like to do here is I would also like to take a look at acknowledging some people that I hadn't had the opportunity to do before now. But I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge some people because I think this is important. And I know some of them are going to be very upset with me. Please try not to be too upset. Please try not to be. I would like to acknowledge A.I. Aregua, A.J. Maxwell, Aaron Dehudi H. Willis, Aaron Brooks, Aaron Flores, Aaron Gibbons, Aaron Jones, Aaron Kidd, Abdul Gaza, Abdul Rasala, Abar Freeman, Abel Nije, Abib Johnson, A Trooper One, Adetoyshe J. Heru, Adrian Wright, Adrian Watson, Adrian Williams, Adrian Workman, Adrian Moses, Afro Babe, where's she been at? I hope she didn't follow the wrong people. Ahmed H.M. Ali, Ahmed Kennedy, A. Holloway 5, Aisha Malik, A. Justin 49, Akbar Beya, Akeem LeCount, Akil Bakari, Akil L. Davis, Akil Robinson, Akintunde Bowden, peace to you, brother. Al Simmons, not Spawn, but he plays it on TV. Albert Antoine Brown, Albert Reed, Alden Wheeler, Alif Kennedy, Alicia Carr, Alex Harris, Alex Sullivan, Alexander Shaw, Alexandra Black, my wayward child, Alexandra Ribeiro, Alexandria Cole, Alexis Dianju Kawi, Alfred Valerie, Alice Newman, Alicia Lewis, Alec Colbert, or Colbert, Aline Kalink, Alan Anderson, Alan Long, All Right Tokios, or Tokiais, Aloe Vera, your parents didn't like you, Alonzo Thellum, Alonzo Davis, Alphabet God, hope you don't mean the LGBT, Alton McGee, Alvin Norton, Amir Miller, Amina Naeem, Amir Bell, Amika Hazel, Andre Martin, Andre Dixon, Andre Mays, Andre Pruitt, Andre W., Andre Omari John, a lot of Andres in Black society, Andrea DiTilio, Andrew Eccles, Andrew Johns, Andrew Ginyard, Andrew M. Ricketts, what a last name, Andrew Mobley, Andrew Roberts, Andrew Roseman, Andrew Cadet, Andrew S. Collins, Angel Martin. Hello, Angel. Angela Millette, Angela Newton, Angelina Van, Ann Manson. No relation, I hope. Anne Marie Stills, Anna John, Anonymous, wherever you are. It's always good to have that. Melissa Ortiz, Anthony Leon Webster, Anthony Bolton, Anthony C. Harris, Anthony Christian, Anthony Gaius, Anthony Holloway, Anthony James, Anthony Jones, Anthony Lavelle Jr., Anthony Masha, Anthony Cockway, Anthony R. Hardiman, Anthony Rice, Anthony Sanders, Anthony Williams, Anthony 1276, Anthony Lynch, Antoine Carney, Antoine King, Anton Rodin, Antonia Diaz, Antonio Knights, Antonio Lawson, Antonio Westmoreland Jr., Antoine Humans, longstanding brother, Antoine Murphy, Anwar K. Williams, haven't seen you in a while, Anwar, where you been at? Anwar L. Knox, April Eek, Aurelius McCormick, Argentria Harden the fourth, A. Rhodes Snow, A. Rhodes Now, ARJD9972, guess he's hanging out with R2D2, Arlen Flood, thank you very much, brother. Arlene Dowden, thank you very much, sister, for your long-term support. Arlen Glenn Meadows Jr., Arian L. Campbell, Arsenio Young, got to be, can you imagine what your parents were thinking? No shade. She was a big fan, wasn't she? Just saying, don't get upset. Art by Odell, Arthur Holmes, Asengwa, and Ciara Aiken. Longtime supporters, peace to both of you. Ashanti Shabazz Witt, Ashley Diggs, Ashley Grant, Ashley Ingram, Ashley McNeary, Ashley Simpson. No relation, I hope. Ashley White, Ashton Blake, Ashton Evans, Aston Giles, Asami Potter, Astara Turner, Azaru Jackson, Atuya Obare Cornwell, Audrey Lane, Alwyn Griffith, Austin David, Avery White, Aisha Sarpong, Aisha Scott, B. Cherry, B.A. Johnson, Baba Yemi, Babatunde Balagoon. That's a steadfast brother right there. Babatunde Balagoon. I got nothing but respect for Babatunde. I know you all don't know who it is. I know who it is. That's all you need to know. Babatunde has been steadfast. Babatunde has been a for real supporter, and that's the kind of thing you don't forget, especially somebody who doesn't go out of their way. They don't go out of their way to be seen. They just do the work. They just do the work. So big props to Babatunde Balagoon. Bakerno Banzoon Guido, Barbara Shears, Barnaby Samuel, Baron Gerard Foxworth, Barrington Bowen II, Barry Heath, Barry Little, Barry Simmons, Bart S. I got Bart Simpson contributing to me? Really? Bartholomew Blackson. You all know about my brother Bartholomew Washington, down like faux flats since day one. I got nothing but respect for that brother. Period. End of discussion. He is everything we need to be. Bosch Warner, Bass Reeves. Hey, can't go wrong with him. Bathsheba Squires, BBF Transport Services, LLC. If you all know BBF Transport Services, go hit them up. B. Clink Scales 38, Beautiful Life, Allah, Belinda Davis, Ben Winborn, Benjamin Calton, Benjamin Levels, Benjamin Smith, Benjamin N. Clemente, Binion Wogi, Baqueda Smith, Bernard Foster, Bernard Jones, Bessie L. Bavard, Bilal Lowndes, Bill Burton, Bill Green, Bill Martin, Bill Reed, Billy Bird, Black Student Union, okay, Blair Edwards, Karen Blanchett. You all already know the special place in my heart that woman occupies, period, in the discussion. BM 1800 Black, B Mayfield 76, B Mosh, Boaz Baker, Bob E. Mick, Bobby Mayberry, Bobby X, Bobby 21 AVV, Boris Colley, Badger Craven, Brandon Walker, Brandon Boykin, Brandon McCrae, Brandon Broom, Brandon Delau, Brandon Dolly, Brandon Jones, Brandon Little, Brandon McKnight, Brandon Miller, Brandon Owls, Brandon Ray, Brandon Scurry, Brandon Sisk, Brandon Stanley, Brandon Wilkins, a lot of Brandys in Black Society, Brandy Scurry, Brianna Campbell, longtime supporter. Peace to you, Brianna. Thank you very much. Brenda Harris, Brendolyn Lucas, Brett Johnson, Brian Cochran, Brian Dupree, Brian Lee, Brian Harris, Brian Martin, Brian Smith, Brian Thornton, Brian Wesley, Brian West, Brian Bay, Bridget Bonita. Been working diligently behind the scenes. Thank you very much. No light skin hate. Brother Muko, Brown Anthony 1234, Brian Kilpatrick, Bryce Devontae Spence, Brian R. Robinson, B. Tracy 54, C. Brown, C. Chad Henry, C. Green, C. Stahl, C. Oscar Lausche, C. Taft, Calvin Lanier, Calvin T. Miller Jr., Calvin Townsend, Cameron Scott, Cameron Searcy, Candace M. Cobb, Carl L. Carly Michael, Carnell R. Hayes, Carob Says, Corolla Edwards, Carolyn Jackson, Carpe Diem 1994. Okay, you've been seasoning it for a long time. Carter E. Gibson, Cassandra Price, Cassandra Cody. Thank you very much, Cassandra Cody. I hope we got everything straightened out for you. Cassandra Parker, Cassandra Wright, Cassandra Raphael, Catherine Henderson, CDL Pierre 24, CDL, okay, brother, Roland Rhodes, Cedric Johnson, Cedric Peoples, C. Dino, CG, Celia Zachary's been a long-time supporter. I haven't seen you lately, though, Celia. I hope you haven't ended up on the wrong route. Sir Either, Cerulean Gray, Chandler Keels, Shen Rector, Sharice Buford, Charles Underwood, Charles A. Gibson Jr., Charles Collins, Charles Crowell, Charles Davis, Charles Derek Tillman V, Charles Edward Islador, Charles Lively, Charles Lynch, Charles Mason, Charles McPhail Jr., Charles Mamalou Simmons, Charles Moore, Charles Smith Jr., Charles Thomas Green, Charles Whitaker, Charlie Matson, Charlie Enoch. Can Enoch be a last name? Okay. Charlotte N. Phillips, Charmaine Phillip. Thank you very much, Charmaine Phillip. Chantalyn Andrew, Shelly Williams. Thank you very much. Shanita Best, Chappelle Chase, Sherelle Graynid, Sherelle Douglas, longtime supporter. Thank you very much, Sherelle. Cheryl Fogg, Cheryl A. Scott McBean, Shigozi Ninchakwu, welcome to Wakanda. Chimera or Chimera Wilrick, Chris Bennett, Chris Burney, Chris Miller, Chris Crazy House Miller, one of my day one people. Shout out to Chris Pruitt, Chris Vaughn, Chris L. Bobier, Christy Coutinho, Christian Amerson, Christopher A. Spellman, Christopher Barsh, Christopher Benson, Christopher Bradley, Christopher Casimir. Let me back up for just a moment. I want to say a brief word about Chris Crazy House. I want to say a quick word about that. When Chris Crazy House first started listening to us, he was just an animator. I don't even know if he was married at the time. I don't even know if he was a father. But I know that he became one after he came to us. I do what I do for that little girl. I do what I do for her. One day, I'm going to be dead and gone, and she is going to either thrive or struggle in the world that people like me left behind. she is going to get by or not in the world that people like me created and that people like me left behind for her. That's what it's going to be. I have no biological children of my own, but I do what I do for them. I do what I do for your children. I do what I do so that they don't have to struggle the way that we did. I do what I do so that they don't have to live into the insanity that we did. I do what I do so that their path will be laid straight. For a child I've never met, and that goes for all of your children, I don't need to meet your children to know and understand my duty to them. Yes, that goes for the single mothers also. That goes for the single mothers also. I don't need to meet your children to understand my duty to them. You know why I got to put Amber Guyger in prison? I have to put Amber Guyger in prison because even though Botham Jean's family was off code, your family is on code. And I'm putting Amber Guyger in prison for as long as I can and sending as big a signal and clear a signal as I can because I want to make it clear to the world that your children going forward ain't open game. It's not open season, and your children are not fair game. So you're damn right. Jason Black was an ass. Jason Black was difficult. Jason Black was harsh. Jason Black was unforgiving. Jason Black was uncompromising. Because where your children's survival is concerned, do you want someone who's going to compromise about your children's survival? Or do you want someone who, in the face of white supremacy, he is uncompromising and that you know what he's going to say before he even walks in the door? That is the future that I hope I am giving to his child and all of yours. That's what I did this for. I did this so that I can hand off to them a better world than the one I found. And that hopefully they've been around us long enough to be able to know that as well. So hopefully we'll be able to have that conversation too. At least I'm hoping we will. Christian Amerson, Christopher Spellman, Christopher Barsh, Christopher Benson, Christopher Bradley, Christopher Casimir, Christopher Collymore. Thank you very much, brother. Christopher D. Beasley, Christopher Daniel, Christopher Jones, Christopher Olagunju, Christopher Schubert, Christopher Scott, Christopher Mack, Christopher of the Overcomer. Not bad. CJ Link, Clarence Moss, Clarence Riley, been with us for a while. Thank you very much, brother. Claude Harton, Claudius Henry, Claus 145, Cliff Hansen, CM Franklin, C. Maloney 83, Cold Hard Cash. Can't argue with a name like that. Colin Lane, thank you very much for your long-term support, brother, as well. Colin Lane, Colin St. Colin Scott Drake, Colleen Faye Adams, Conchetta Thompson, Connell Burrows, Corey Bournes, Corey J. Allen, Corian Bryant, thank you very much. Courtney G. Corey A. Gibson, longtime supporter. Big shout out to Corey A. Gibson. Thank you very much. Corey Glover, Corey Grant, Courtney D. Smith, Courtney Gurley, Courtney Stanberry, Craig A. Jefferson, Craig Charlos Minus. Craig Minus. That's got to be made up. Craig Copeland, Craig Lewis, Craig Stephen Ashley Sr., Craig Wade, Craig Crenshaw. Don't come starting trouble at their house. C. Slay 7. Don't start trouble at their house either. C.T. Minnie Maw Jr., Kamali Bay, Caressa Grisby, Curtis Harrell, Curtis Waynia, Curtis Warren, Kervin Anthony, Cynthia Logan, longtime supporter. Not so much here, but thank you anyway. Dakeem Sam Daniels, Delisha Thomas, Dalman Walker, Damian A. McLeod, Damian T. Robinson, Damon Boston, Damon Davis, Dan Gramble, Dana Slade, Dana Tipton, Dane Fairchild. Thank you very much for your support as well, Dane. We appreciate that. Daniel Davis, yours as well. Daniel Holloway, Daniel Holiday, Danielle Fletcher, Danny Rollins II, Danielle Walker, DeReal Town Biz. Okay. Daniel Hawthorne, Darren D. Brown, Darren E. Cease, Darius Ashton Owens, Darius Deshaw Nichols, Darius Denard, Darnell Barron, Darnell Coleman, Darnell D. Henderson, Daryl Banks, Daryl Johnson, Daryl Poole, Darren Mills, Derek Sinclair, Daryl Drayton, Daryl Green, Daryl Hunter, Daryl Tillman, thank you, Daryl W. Taylor, Daryl Frazier, Dash On Entertainment, keep it moving, Deshaun Mitchell, David Allen Green, David Bell, David Bebbles, David Brock, David Carroll, David Delia, David Henderson, David Heron, David Hopkins, David Aseki. This is my brother, David Aseki. He's been with us for a while. Thank you very much for your support, brother. It's much appreciated. David J. McElveen Jr., David Johnson, David Lee Williams, David McClinton, David Mims, David Pierre Lewis, David Washington, David Jamal Artisan, David Beth Jr., David Sudbury, Davina Campbell Williams, D. Bryant, 314, DDH 543, D. Doug 2003, Dean White, DeAndre Fuentes, Deanna Weber Michaud, Deanza Walker, Deborah Cooper, Deborah James, Deborah Keshi, Deborah K. Hassan, Deborah Thomas, Deedon Biko. Thank you for your longtime support, brother. Dee M. Elliser, Dewan Bennett Jr., Dylan Johnson, DeConti Davis, Delisla, Delisle Navant Ware, Dylan Maxwell, Dolores Randall, Dolores Randall. If I can keep her focused when she posts on Facebook, Dolores Randall. Sometimes I look up and I'm like, oh Lord, what has she done this time? Demario McGee, Demi Moore Nelson, Dim Moore Nelson. Thank you very much, Dim. Don't worry, we'll get you straightened out here eventually. Demetrius Hill, thank you. Demetrius Brown, Demetrius D. Lewis, Demetrius L. Bell, Demetrius Goodwin, Dimitri Tyler, longtime supporter. Thank you very much, Dimitri. DeMonte Fontaine, Denaya Robinson, and Brendan Swift. Hope y'all get married. Denise Burton, Denise Warsham, longtime supporter. What happened? Danae W. Danae. Where is Danae at? I ain't seen Danae. Danae got her a boo. That's what happened to Danae. I'm asking, where's Danae at? Danae got a boo. Danae got her a man. So Danae's not so angry anymore. Danae got her a man now. So no wonder we haven't seen Danae in a minute. Yeah, Danae got booed up. She got booed up. She said, I'm hitting the gym. I'm getting my life together. Why do I need black empowerment again? I got me a man now. Why do I need black empowerment? Danae, you need to get back over here, baby. Fight's not over yet now. I know you're ready to go home and throw in the towel. The fight's not over yet, baby. You got to stick in there now. She got her a man, and he got her, got her time tied up. I was about to say her tied up. I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but got her tied up lately. So she ain't been showing up like she used to. You know what that means. She ain't hanging out with us like she used to. What she say? Old boy say you can listen to Jason recorded. All right. All right, I'm not holding a grudge about it. I'm just saying, Danae, come on now. Dennis Shaw, Dennis Traubauer, Denatra Nicole Lewis. There's a name you all need to keep an eye on. Denatra Nicole Lewis. Keep an eye on her. Dion Dwight Gibson, Derail Howery, Derek Harness, longtime supporter. Thank you very much, Derek. Derek Hill, Derek L. Ragland, Derek Lindsay, Derek Talley, Derek V. Muhammad, Darian Mitchell. Thank you very much for your longtime support. Darian is appreciated. Darrell Williams, Derek Bernard Henry, Derek Hicks, Derek L. Watson, Derek Oduro, Derek Tillman. Thank you very much, Derek Tillman, Derek Van Cubey, Derek Wycliffe Bay, Derwin Williams, Deshauna McGee, Deshaun Warren, Deshaun Haywood, Des Jar, Michael Lee Johnson, Desmond Gordon, Desmond Lenore, Desmond Welch, Devin Davis, Devin Givner, Devin Haley. Hello, Devin Haley. Devin, what was this? Come on now. Devin Barrett. Thank you very much. Devin Hester, Devin Sheetwood. Thank you. Dwayne A. McKinnon Sr., Dwayne Hendricks, Dexter Williams, Desrick 27, Digital Darkness 84, Dejon Edwards, Demi Hurd, Dion Moore, Dywin O'Neal Daly. Dywin's been with me for a long time. Thank you very much, Dywin. Dahudi Asara, DK Toller, DK Wood Art, DL Teheramander, Dolly David. I know me and Dolly go back and forth online all the time, but thank you for your support, Dolly. Dominic R. Harris, Dominic W. Clark, Dominic Masur, Dominic Brightman, Dominic Joseph, Dominic M., Dominic Brickley, Don Mann, Don Willie, Don Beckton, Donald Campbell, Don Dewan, Donnie Desline, Don Levon Atkins, Donna Gray, Donna Jones, Donna Madden, Donna Marie Brown, Donnie Hill, Donovan Douglas, Ramsey Hall, Donovan Powell, Dorian Ray Betty, Doran Tate, Dorothy Brooks, Douglas Foots. His last name is really Foots. Douglas Foots. Thank you anyway, brother. Douglas McField, Douglas Newsom, Dr. Amy Linder, Dr. Delsina Bean Burrows, Dr. Winnie Scott. I got doctors on my team. Drew Train, Dumang, Mouth 8, Duncan Date, Duncan Travis, Jarrell James, Dewan Brown, Dwayne Corey, Dwayne Winter 83, Dwight Sanders. Thank you for your support. Dewana Muhammad, Dynan Barnett, E. Taylor, Eamon P. Doherty, Earl Lewis, Earl Lyles, Earthbound, reading as they gave it to me, Eben G. Smith, Ed Farquharson, Eddie Newsom. Thank you very much for your support, brother. Like I say, I know it comes and goes, but thank you very much for your support. Eddie Williams III, Edward Sanders, Edward Warren Johnson III, Edwin Harper, Edwin Jean Baptiste, EGT 55412, Ehetsu Babu, Elaine Zanga. That's one word, Elaine Zanga. So you are welcome, Elaine, for me making it through that one. Eldwayne B. Patterson, Elihu Ben Israel, Elliot Brown, Elliot Salyed, Elvin Lee Corey Jr., Emmanuel Colby, Emmanuel Perry, Enal Estelis, E.O. Jersey, Eramus Thornton, Eric Bailey, Eric Cole, Eric Culberson, Eric D. Grimes, Eric Dwayne Hickman, Eric Finland, Eric Francois, Eric Harding, Eric Brodus, Eric McMillan, Eric Moore, Eric Moreland, Eric Pouquet Panier, Eric Stewart, Eric Thomas Jones, Eric Treywick, Eric Wilson, Erica Howard, Erica S. Harris, and Eric Sean Jordan. Thank you very much for your support, brother. It's very much appreciated. Ernest Stone, Ernestina Ferguson. Ernestina. I got so much to say. I won't say it in public. Ernestina. Erwin Davis. Erwin Martinez. Erider 4. Eternal Artist. Ethan Albritton. Eugene A. Balfo. Thank you very much for your support, brother. Eugene A. Hughes. Eugene Thompson. Eugene DeJimmy. Eugenie Jimmy. Ava F. Everett F. Greer. Faye Abdullah, February's AC, Felicia A. Respres, Farrah Ben, Fernandez Hawkins, First Last, Fletcher Jordan, Florian Goto, Floyd Harris, Foley Madave, Fonda Smith, for Jabberwockies. So the Jabberwockies are represented here. Fortage, as long as they're in favor of Black empowerment, Jabberwockies, we can hold it down for you. Fortage Holding, Franchise 1987, Francois Nia Wyndham, Fran Cruiser 7. Hello, Francis. Frank Desire Den, Frank Johnson, Frank Mixon, Frank Rivers, Frank Springs, Frankie Lee Smith, Franklin Jenkins, Franklin Verkeja, Frankie Laud, Bernard Ackland, Francour Forside, Frantina Iverson, Fred and Jennifer Mathis, Fred Lee Johnson, Fred Williams, Freddie Hill 81, Frederick Rowe, Frederick Sanders, Frederick Richburg, Fernell Threat, from the base, F.W. Bashir. Before I say anything else, Francis. You know, I know that Francis reminds all of us of our favorite grandmother. And that's who I do this for also. I've taught you all not to trust people simply because they're old. I've taught you all that they have to earn your respect. That's how I've kept you all safe. And Frances is one of those people. And it's my hope it remains that way. I've talked to her, you know, on my own, and every time you hear from her, I can't lie. She's one of the few people who just hearing her voice will make my eyes light up. Just hearing from her. That's the world I want to make. That's the world I'm trying to bring into being. At least I'm trying. Maybe I don't have everything, but that's what I'm trying. Fernell Threat from the base, F.W. Bashir, G.B., G.R. Jones, G. Adler Enterprises, LLC, G. 918 Allen, Gabriel Thomas, Gail J. Hamlin, Gayla Tomlin Lawrence, Garrett Cole, Gary J. Miller, Gary Carpenter, Gary Grant, Gary Jones Jr., Gary McMahon, Gary V. Slaughter, Gary W. Taylor, Gary Warner, Gavin Pierce, Hazel Muse, Gene McCants, Genevia Bone, George Kirkendall, George Magwood Jr., George Metz, George Pierce Jr., George V. Agins, George Williams, Georgia Palmer, Gerard Green, Gifted Mindset, Gil Allen Bell, longtime supporter Gil Allen Bell. Thank you very much for your long-term support, brother Guilford Williams, Janae Owens, Ginzu, the coolest man alive. I don't know, the Dos Equis guy might argue with you over that, but Ginzu, the coolest man alive, representing Giovanni Writers, Giselle Bingaya, G. Kelvin 88, Gladstone Waters, GLC 23, BAT, Godfrey CD, O&I, Gordon Pullen, Gordon Speed, GQ Major, GR Johnson, Grace Pena, Gregory Clark, Gregory Curry, Gregory Joshua, Gregory L. Wyatt, Gregory R. Elmore Jr., Gregory Rose, Gregory Worthington, Grinny 96782. Thanks for warning us in advance. He grins. Habib Allah Alaka, Hakeem Alawesu, Haki Shakur Ami, Hallie 4095, Hamam Muwaki, Hanif Abdush Shahid. You know, when we got into the H's, we was going to get all the Islamic names. Harold D. Stiff, Harrell N. Philippa Jr., Harsh Singal, I can identify with you. Harbalus, as opposed to marvelous. Heidi Brown. Brothers and sisters, I want to take a brief moment to recognize Heidi Brown. You don't know who Heidi Brown is. That's okay. I know who Heidi Brown is. I know who she is. People, this is a person. Heidi Brown is somebody who walks the walk, up one side and down the other. This is a woman who requires no season to do what she does. I've got the utmost respect for this woman because she's done it like me. She's done it in silence. She hasn't asked for anything. She hasn't asked for a single thing, recognition or anything else. She hasn't asked for anything. She's just doing it. When I started the Black channel, we don't take donations. Didn't have to. But furthermore, just do the work. So I want to stop and take a moment to give a special recognition to Heidi Brown. I want you to know I see you. I want you to know that I've always seen you. And I want you to know that your support over these years has always been appreciated. So Heidi, she's out there somewhere. She's not going to say anything, and that's okay. I just want you to know I see you. We'll just keep that at that. Chemistry 1108, Henry Rogers, Henry Thompson, Henry Lee Holmes Jr., Herman Spearman Jr., Heru Issa, Haley Joe, Hilliard Andrew Learson Jr., Hilton Turner III, Howard Hurry III, Hubert Rowley, Hugh Briggs, Hugh Hayward, Hunter Graham, recognize that name, Hussein Smith, Hiram Reed, Ian Garnier, or Garns, Ian Myrie, Idris Abdulmaitin, Ifeyomi, Efemafumi Okongwu. No, Ekamafune Okongwu. Ekamafune Okongwu. In the Loop Radio, Anisha West, Inez Norman, Iyang Edo Eket, Iron Shabazz, Irvin Burton III, Irvin Cannon, Isaac Dixon, Isaac Jameson, Isaiah Bell, Isaiah Montrell, Dershawn Gibson, Isaiah Conward, Idris Ager, Ismael Beto, Issa Katuga, Eva Moses, Ivy Bushnell, Isaiah Nixon with a Z, J. Edwards, J.L., J. Warth, J. Eben Gold, J. Wanna Clayton, Jabari Barrow, Jabril Robinson, Jacinta Rowland, Jackie Casto, Jackie Sanders, Jacqueline E. Johnson, Jacqueline Welch, Jade Brooks, Jake and Francile Benton III, Jolene Davis, Jamal Williams, Jamal Stroman, Jamal Bray, Jamal R. Isaac Sr., Jamal Venable, Jamian Fowler. You hate to see them go bad. Just remember, there are certain doors that you will never be able to walk back through again in life. Back the right horse. Jamel Burrell, Jamel Paul, Jamel Reynolds, Jamel Lewis, James Armstrong, James Beals, James Butler, James DePina, James E. McIver III, James Ely, James Fletcher, James Hairston, James Manning Jr., James Miller, James Owens, James Smith, James Stiles, James Turnipseed, that's a great name, James Wilson, James Woodbury, James Earl Mosley. Thank you very much for your support, James Woodbury and James Earl Mosley, James 79 Edgar, James L. Holloway, Jamil Bourne, Jamila Tinay, she even wrote it out, pronounced Tinay, Jamila Tinay, thank you very much for your $35, Jamila Johnson, Jamil Henley, Janae Waiters, Janelle Farmer, Janella Scott, Janitha Simpson Pierpoint, Jeanette Nebbles, Janice Ali, Janice Goldsboro, Jarrell McKay, Jerron Council, Jerron D. Hurdle, Jarrett Maben, Jason Anderson, Jason Kojo, Jason Lewis, Jason London, Jason O. Amoka Jr., Jason Oates, Jason Reeves, Jason Reed, our brother Jason Reed. You know it. You know what he's about. You know who he is. You know what he's on. He's been consistent for years. By the way, I also tell you don't trust niggas in the military or niggas who've been in the military. And guess what? Jason retired from the military. And he'll tell you, don't trust niggas in the military. Let them earn your respect. You don't give them nothing. Let them earn your respect. Jason Reed has earned our respect. Jason has earned it. Jason Scott, Jason Simmons, Jason Thompson, Jason West, Jasper L. Moss III, Juan Crawley. Hadn't heard from Juan in a minute either. Did he get booed up? Juanisha Oliver, J. Bola AOS, J. Fields, J. Post, J. Kelly, James Lawson, Jay's Hair Chronic, Homegirls, Soul Dogs, and Barbecue. No, that's the name. Jay's Hair Chronic / Homegirls, Soul Dogs, and Barbecue. So is that like one business that all of them get together? All right. You're in there. Jason JYT, Jean Fleurival, Jean Philemond, Jeff Murray, Jeff Williams, Jefferson, Mero Ndombi, Jeffrey Bradley, Jeffrey L. Bradley, Jeffrey Jenkins, Jelani Foster, Gina Robinson, Jennifer Gallier, Jennifer Lambie, Jennifer Phillip, Jennifer Williams, Gerald Calvin Burks, Jerron Berra, Jarrell 888, Jeremiah Driscoll, Jeremy Black, Jeremy Coleman, Jeremy Evans, Jeremy Lazard, Jeremy Spivey, Jerlaw 2, Jermaine Williams, Jermaine Agaye Barobe, Jermaine Craig, Jermaine Forbes, Jermaine Tyron Lewis, Jamal Adkins, Jared Davis, Jerome Bostic, Jerome Frank, Jerome M. McNee, Jerome McNaughton, Jerome B. Paudling, Jerry Allen Smith, Jerry L. Harvey Jr., Jerry M. Fields Jr., Jerry Oliver Mason, Jerry Robbie Law, Jerusha Seward, Jess Washington, Jesse B. Salters Jr., Jesse Boyd, Jesse Flanagan IV, Jesse Adams, Jessica Gibbs, Jesse Thomas, Jess K. Rob, Jethro Anag Hype, Jetwash 8467, Joel Cannon, Jesus, or Jesus with Z, Jesus Jefferson, Jamal the Real Capital Mason, Jimmy Ruffin, Jimmy Lee Lewis, Giovanni Skillings, JKJ Lane, JMF 1981, Joan Alawale, Joe Sakarzan. Joe has been with me for a long time. I don't know what happened to him. Did everybody get booed up? Or better yet, maybe their lives got a lot better and whatnot. They're like, hey, Jason, we got real stuff to take care of. I'll send you a check. Okay. Joel Edward Moore, Joel G. Blaine, Joel Peters, Joanna Ferguson, John C. Spain, John Chandler. Thank you very much for your steadfast support. It's very much appreciated. John Hart Jr., John Hartfield, John Horn, John Kendrick, John L. Price, John Lewis, John McVeigh, John Nesbitt, John NRE, John Okeezy, John Paul, John Scott, thank you, John Tingman, John Waite III, John Zachary, Jonathan Battle, Jonathan Bryant, Johnny Clark, Johnny Coit Jr., Johnny Gibbs Jr., Johnny L. McFarland, Johnny Love, Johnny Morant Jr., Johnny Williams, Johnny Ace. I see you, Johnny Ace. John Ross Ford, thank you very much for your steadfast support, brother. Hoya Davis, John Campbell, Jonathan Brown, Jonathan Bunting, Jonathan France, Jonathan O'Neill Cox, Jonathan T. Green, Jonathan Williams, Jonathan Betts 13, Johnny and Camille Henderson, Jonta Duck, Jordan Signature, Jordan Vance, Jordan Wyndham Benford, Jorge Gonzalez, Jose Beltran, got more Latino support, Joseph Jackson, Joseph Anthony Jones, Joseph Hayes, Joseph Parker, Joseph Penegard, Joseph Washington, Joshua Adams, Joshua Gold Theater, Joshua Mack. Wonder if he introduces himself to the ladies like that. I'm Mr. Mack. Joshua Thornton, Joshua Jackson, Joshua Starr, Jobar Moore, Jawan Baptiste, Joyce Scipio. This is all foreign script. Joe A, whatever language this is. Kibakula, whatever those other characters are. Joe A, whatever this is, Kibakula. Juanita Cooper 45, Julian Spencer, Just One Perspective, Justice Beckford, Justin Francis, Justin Hampton, Justin Howard, Justin March, Justin Owens, Justin White, Jerome Parker, shout out KJ Price, Kay Buckman, Kadira Carey, Kahil Isaac, Kai Williams, Kyla Lewis, Kamal Biddle, Camilla C. Ballinger, Kanita Irvin, Kareem Baldwin, thank you very much for your support. Kareem Hunter, thank you very much for your support as well. Karen Smith, Carenzia Richmond, Carl Gale, Carolyn Elsko, Karen Owens, Cart Gid, that better be your name, Kathy Walker, Kaylin Johnson, Keisha L. Ford, Keegan George, Keenan Berry, Keisha Tyson, Keith Quiet Soul Smith, Keith Brown, Keith Daniels, Keith Lashley, Kelly Pryor, longtime follower. Thank you very much, Kelly. Kelly Kareem 55, Kelvin Dennis, Kina Sen, Kendrick Bolton, Kendrick Daniels, Kenitria Faria, Kenneth A. Hunter, Kenneth A. Clark, Kenneth A. Morgan, Kenneth Amore Wynn II, Kenneth Bell Jr., Kenneth Joseph, Kenneth L. Roberts, Kenneth M. Hollins, Kenneth Milo Jr., Kenneth Nightingale, Kenneth Sanders, Kenneth Scobie, Kenny Berry, 7310, Kenson Vincent, Kenyatta Ross, Kenya Dayan Jarrett. All right, they're getting creative out here. Kenyatta Wiley, Kenyon Crosby, Kerry Goshi, Kerry Locks, our brother up there in Chicago, holding it all the way down. I think he's got a new shop now, as a matter of fact. I think he's got a new shop. I want to say, is that right, Kerry? He's probably in the chat room, but I think Kerry's got a shop up there now, and he's making some improvements on it and things. That's what we need to do, man. You know, you build it from the ground up. You won't start fancy, but you're going to make it fancy before it's over. And something worthy of your people. We need to give our people luxury products. So definitely, Kerry Locks, thank you very much for your long-time support, brother. Peace to you. Kevin and Crystal Mayfield, Kevin Anderson, Kevin Andrew Dunn, Kevin Brown, Kevin Godby, Kevin Gray, Kevin H., Kevin J., Kevin Carriage, Kevin Lamar Johnson, Kevin Lamar Sims, Kevin N. Robinson, Kevin Orgain, Kevin Redrick, Kevin Watts, Khadijah B., Khadijah Sams, Khalid Martin, Khaliday Muhammad, Khalil G. Marsh, Kari Small, Kia Jefferson, Kibwe Alabisi, Howard, Kiki Onahimne, Kim Scott, Kim K. Robinson, Kimberly Parker Burns, Kimberly Robinson, Kamaya Rasco, King Flex Entertainment. King Flex Entertainment. Jason, why do you ride for Tariq Nasheed? Because Tariq Nasheed rides for me. That's why. Tariq Nasheed did not say, give me respect. Tariq Nasheed opened up his checkbook and said, I'm here to earn it. Tariq Nasheed has been consistent. This ain't about being perfect. I'm not here to take nobody on a damn date. But understand something. Tariq Nasheed and I have, you can count on one hand the number of times I've talked to this man and still have enough fingers to drive a car safely. He ain't about talk. He's about doing. He's not about making friends with people. He speaks dollars. He did not know who I was, but he followed my work. And when 7 a.m. came out, he didn't say nothing. He just went all in. I found out that Tariq Nasheed was watching our work on 7 a.m. when I went through the contributions. That's how I found out. He didn't ask me for anything. He didn't ask for nothing. He just got to the work of doing it. So if you want to know why his critics don't really resonate with me that much, is because I take a look at his track record of doing things. By the way, he does this all over the place. For Dr. Ben, for Dr. Welsing, in Haiti and other places. This man has made it his job to say, hey, I'm not here for the talk. So when I take a look at his critics sitting on their mama's couch, they couldn't pay for their own funeral. If they dropped dead tonight, they couldn't afford their own casket to bury them in. And this man has been paying for other people's. People who've been shot by the police and murdered by the police. While you niggas on the internet with their mumble mouths haven't helped anybody anywhere. When Botham Jean was killed, I broke bread and got the message out in Dallas. When Darren Seals was killed, Tariq Nasheed broke bread. Your critics are sitting on their mama's couch and tongue-tied as hell out there doing nothing. That's the difference. I can't compare a Mr. Do Nothing to a Mr. Do Something. You ain't got no chips. You ain't got no chips. So if you want me to sit up here and go against somebody, okay, I got to see what you're doing. But that's real talk. So he's never said nothing. He's just been about doing it. But he's never said nothing. From day one, he didn't introduce him. He introduced himself to me on 7 a.m. by contributing. That's how he introduced himself. So before you sit up here and listen to somebody with no wins, no contributions, no nothing, real recognize real. Real recognize real. Kirk Tolliver, Kobasinye Thompson, Kodell Kirk, Kojo Baden, Kufi 48, Cools 009, Jorge Kapopsway, I can make that up, Cornell Brown, Courtney Scott Wilson, Courtney KR, Mulazine, Christina Knight, Kawedo Anakwa, Kwame A. Amalwale, Kwesi Koreem, Kwesi Gray, Kyle Frazier, Kyle W.J. Sura, Kimmets, KYMTS 177, Ladarius Agbaya, Ladrika Ross, Lady Oshun, Lady T Nigerian, Lafayette Cotton, Lakeisha Haraway, Lakeisha Gaden, Lalisa Dumas. Lalisa Dumas, it's been a while since I heard from you. Get back on the right foot, Lalisa. Get back on the right foot. You've been doing some things. Get back on the right foot, Lalisa. Get back on the right foot. Lamar Mack, Lamar 123, Lamont Bowser, Lamont Collins, Lamont Lee Barnes, Lance Catlett, Landon Cook, Lane of Destiny, Larisha Gibson, Larry Griffin, Larry J. Gary, Larry Malone, Larry McGaffey, LaShawn Singleton, LaShawn Smith, LaShonda Kirkman Bay, LaShonda Claiborne, Latasha Horde, Latifa Bryant Brown, Latique Howard, Letitia Morrison, Latanya C. White, Latanya F. Taylor, Latoya Cooks, Latoya Boyd, Latoya Holloway, Latoya Samuels, Lawrence Easter, longtime supporter. Thank you very much for your support over all these years, Lawrence. Is much appreciated. Laurice Harrells, Laurie A. Hall, Lavette Slaughter, Levon Billingsley, Lawrence Ngumba, Lawrence Victor, Lazarus Williams, Lays Stewart, L.D. Freeman, LaAndre Cadell, Leah Allen, Leah McAllister, Nicole A. Williams, Ladarius Norwood, Lee A. Hooper, Lee Coco, Lee Duya, Lee Garcone, Lee Johnson, Linnell Frederick, Lena McElroy, Leon Campbell, Leon Howell, Leonard Thompson, Leroy E. Williams Jr., Leroy Green Jr., Leslie Adebayo, Leslie Delgado Jr., Leslie Hazel, Leslie Tete, Levert Caldwell, Lewis G42, Layla Lay, Lizelle Brown, Linda Moore, Linda Smith, Lindley Toborn Jr., Linton Harris, Linwood Johnson Jr., Lionel Barnes Jr., Lionel Westbrooks, Lisa Davis, Lisa Estelle, Lisa Fagan, Lisa James, Lisa Marie Champion, Lisa Todd, Lisa Gordon, Lloyd Dev, Lonnie Crockett, Lord Mortimer, Lorenzo 8500, Lori Griffno, Latanya Mitchell, Loffing Dean, Lewis Bryant, Lewis M. Havener, Louise Lucas, L. Parker 6477, Lucinda Midget, MIJDT, Lungayo the second, or Lungayo 2, longtime supporter. Thank you very much for your support, brother. Love you first. Okay, love you too. Linseed MFT, longtime supporters, MFT. Thank you very much for your support. Oh, wait a minute. No, shout out for you. Fake. No shout out to you. MFT, fake. I remember you now. Now I remember you, MFT. No shout out for you. No. Phony and fake as hell. No. MD Butler, MRF Family Trust. The MRF Family Trust has been holding it down for us for a while. Thank you very much. That's what a trust is supposed to do. Now we just need about 20 million more. But that's what a family trust is supposed to do. Malamal 84, Maceo Reed, Mackenzie Diandon, Madina Johnson, Mahir Israel, Mahmoud O. Adir Abdullah, Maitreya Akshay, Major Donnell Everett, Makana Kim, McCary Passius, Malachi Henry, Malcolm Griffs Mitchell, Malcolm Smith, Malcolm White, Molly Morris, Mally Vanderpool, Mallory McCain. Thank you very much, Mallory McCain. Long time no see. Mally Scott, Marcel Smart Jr., Marcus Allen, Marcus Christopher Townsend, Marcus Mason, Marcy Webb, Marco E. Jones, Marie Simmons. Marie Simmons. No light skin hate, Marie. Sometimes I don't know what we gonna do with you. But Marie Simmons, being high yellow with D cups is not going to give you a lifelong pass for some of the stuff you say and do, Marie. You know I love you, but light skin and big breasts are not going to be a hall pass to just go out and say whatever you want, however you want to say it. Come on now. Mario J. Llewellyn, Marion Joseph, Mark A. Goodson, Mark Burks, Mark Cruz, Mark Cunningham, Mark Dahl Willis Jr., Mark Finlayson, Mark Haynes, Mark Hill, Mark Peters, Mark Randall, Marquita Parker, Mark Prophet, Marlon Dean, Marlon Johnson, Marlon L. Mannion, Marlon Moore, Marlon Little, Marquez Bowden, Marquez Marion, Marquise Colbert, Marquise Vinson, Marquise Hines, Marquise Smothers, Mario Matthews, Marshalletta R. Wise, Marsh Joel 11, Marshuna L. Clark, Martin L. Funches III, Marvin Bastion, Marvin Harris, Marvin Jennings, Marvin Thomas, Marvin West, Marvin Q. Griff, Miriam E. Martej KR, I guess that's how you say that, foreign symbols, Matondo M. Baku, Matt O'Neill, Matt Bean 17, Matthew C. Richard, Matthew Nimson Jr., Maddie Harper, Maurice Davis, Maurice Odell Goa, Maxine Lewis, McDonald Lewis, MacEarser John, MDB3NSON, okay, R2D2's cousin, contributed, Mechd, Medi Florestal, Melanie Collins, Melinda Thompson, Melvin Lorenzo Hadley, Melvin Robinson Jr., Melvin Robinson Jr., thank you very much. Melvin's Naughty 24, Melvin Snotty 24, Melvin Cole, Metro North 11, M Flom 556, Mia Isaac, Micah Gabriella Persiano Bueno, try saying that 3 times fast, Michael Bell, Michael Blanchard, Michael Braswell, Michael Chin, Michael Kofi, Michael Davis, Michael Dodson, Michael Douglas Palmer, Michael Dunham, Michael E. Johnson, Michael E. Favors, Michael Elijah Adams, Michael Gardner, Michael Griffith, Michael Gerard Malaba, Michael LeBron Hancock, Michael Lavette, Michael M. Magruder, Michael Robinson, Michael Smith, Michael Spence, Michael Sullivan, Michael Wharton, Michael M. Mespin, Michaela Watkins, Michael E. Million, Michelle Beckford, Michelle N. Aaron, Michelle Simmons, Michael Smith, Makia Major, thank you very much for your contribution. Brown skin is the way to go. Team Brown skin, Makia Major, Michael Odom, Mike Childs, Mike John, Mike McCoy, Mike Stasco, Mike Thompson, Mike 72244. I don't want no Pookie jokes about Mike 7244. No Pookie jokes. Mike Easy 56, Mikey somebody. He is somebody. Mitchell Myers, Ms. Latisse, Mohammed Diarra, Mona Lachey. Thank you very much, Mona. Monet Ham, Monica Brown, Monica Eggleston, Monica Lewis, Monique Waite, Montre Wilson, Montrell Manza, Maurice and Cheryl Tariq L. Thank you very much, brother and sister there. They've been holding us down for a while, but thank you, Maurice and Sherelle Tariq L. Mosley DeAndre 126, Moidi Barasikat, MP Services, Mr. Ashley D. Campbell, Mr. David Saritan, Mr. Kyle E. Williams, Mr. Revant, Mrs. Shanathala Jones, Miss C.R. Neal, Miss, they got this all in here as one word, which is why I have to keep stopping for a moment. Miss H. Metrius, Miss Metrius, Multi Grooves, Mummin A. Mohammed, Mustafa Kenyatta, my Indigo account. All right. My Angela Purcell, Miles Johnson, Myron DeBerry, In Tate, Indage, John Giles, Indara S. Muhammad, Naga Netter, Nyla Nombeko, Nanaya Sarpong, Naomi McKenzie, Natalie Campbell, Natarzia Joy, Natasha Shide, Nathan Blankson, really? Nathan Conquest, all right. Nathan Humber, Nathaniel Miller, Navia Embre, Neil A. Gant, Nakim Yabin Israel, Nelson St. Fleur, Nermi Lone, Nerval Casey.nc, Nicholas E. PR, Nicholas Howe, Nicholas Reed, Nicholas Stokes, Nick Chung, no hate, we can get our Black Asian thing on, Nicholas Armony Jr., Nicole Townsend, Nieko Wadley, Nigel Avila, Nightshade.Raja, Nikhil Younglove down there in Austin, Texas. And every time I go online to see her now, she's wearing some skin-tight dress. She is campaigning relentlessly. Shout out Nikhil. Nakima Williams, Nikki Jones, Nyunka Weems, Nenana A. Eek, Noel Rogers, Nola Young, Norma Taylor, Natuzela Fakini. Thank you very much for your longstanding support. It's much appreciated. Nichelle Edwards, Naimotin, Naisu Ningubu, O. Johnson, Ochuko Udibi, Ojeric J, Oak Bro C6678, Ola Kupuyi, Olivia Jones, Olivia McBride, Olivia One Jimmy, Omar A. Cater, Omar Cook, Omar Gray, Omar Jordan, O'Neill Barnaby, Orlando Greenhill, Oronde Rasco, Orrin Howard McFadden, Osiris Sproul, Otis Bruce, Otis Pimpleton, Ozan Zan, P. Ann Brown, P. Burley, P. A. 5062, Pamela Denise Long, Pamela Y. Green Crawford, Harris B. Talbert. Thank you very much for your support, brother. Pascal Harley, Padsdilworth 8, Patricia Alexis Patrick Anutawa, Paul Billings, Paul G. Favors Jr., Paul Lawrence, Paul Lewis, Paul Richard Jr., Paul Sam, Pearlie A. Powell, Perlage Larius, Harry W. Mason, Peter Boudreau, Peter Campbell, Peter Hudgens, Peter 850, Peters Charles, Philip and Daiwo Mendez, Philip LaSalle. Thank you very much for your support. Philip LaSalle is very much appreciated. Philip Williams, Philip Abdullah, Philip Alexander Young, Philip Hodges, Philip Mitter, Philip N. Walker, Phoenix Black. Been a long time since we've seen her. PJ Carp 628, Plan Uzeri, PMJ Media Group. They've been longtime supporters. Whatever PMJ Media Group does, I'm all for it. As long as it ain't all code. Punkunu. All right, we found Pookie. Portia Stewart, Portia Cooper, Prosperity Bank. Thank you very much. Preston D. Olive, Preston Griffin, Prince Chocolate. Wow. I got a contribution from somebody named himself Prince Chocolate. All right. Prevy Punt Team, Pseudo Kid and Birdie, Phelan, Q. Anthony Sowell, Condors Falk, Queen Terry, Kessie, J. Quincy, K. McKeffin, Quentin Cross, Kinshire Richardson, Quentin Alston, Quentin Fuqua, Quentin Harris, Quintonia McKay, R. Ayers, R. Octavia Ricks, Rachel Juno, Raquel Wilkinson Alston, Radiance, Raheem Johnson, Raheem Elam, Rayana Sheridan, Raheem A. Mathis, Raheem Reed, Ralik Major, Ralph M. Johnson, Ralph Prather, Ralph the Great, must be, Ramon Holly, Ramon L. Monegro, Ramon Lawrence, longtime supporter. Thank you very much for your steadfast support over the years, brother. We appreciate it. Ramonica Caldwell, Randy Bradford, Randy Hudson, Raquel Smith, Raskin 2004, Rashad Thornton, Rashad Rushton, Rashad Z. Muhammad, Rashida Gregory, Roz James 79, Ravenous 300, really, Ray Bowser, Ray Harbison, Raymond Keith, Raymond Burnell, Ray Zonda Lee, R.D. Hollis 723, Real One, Reese Wiley, Resita Wood, Reese Shaguri, Rita Simone, Reg. Thompson 313, Reggie Hairston, Reggie Laster, Reggie Staball, Reggie Palmer, Reginald Adedoji, Reginald Caldwell, Reginald Mosby, Reginald Peavy, Reginald Putnam, Reginald Trailer, Relique 3600, Richard S. Colley, Rashawn Robinson, Rashid Hyman, Rianda Leary, Rhonda Morton, Rhonda Nelson, Rhonda Renee, shout out Rhonda Renee, Richard A. Williams, Richard Allen Green, Richard Bebco, Richard C. Brown, Richard Christian, Richard Ginyard, Richard H. Rudd, Rochelle Luster, Richmond C. Love, Ricky Claiborne Jr., Ricky Hunter Jr., Ricky K. Ledette Jr., Ricky Vaughn, Ricky Dossie, Ricky Harper, Ricardo Chambers, Rio Baylock, Robertson Merriweather, Robert Bell, Robert Bonner, Robert Bowman, Robert Corinaldi, Robert Crockett, Robert Eskridge, Robert Jackson, Robert L. Brown Jr., Robert Lee Cross Sr., Robert Mansfield, Robert Omar Reed II. Thank you very much for your contribution, sir. We appreciate that. Robert W. Rankin, Robert Wells, Robert Ricks, Robert C. Smith, Robert C. Gibbs, Robert Williams, Robert Henderson, Robert L. Milton, Rodimus Wayman. Really? Rodney Anderson, Rodney Jackson, Rodney Robinson, Roger Bostic, Roger B. Bell. Thank you very much for your long-standing support, brother. Roger Julian, longtime supporter. Roger, shout out to you, brother. Roger L. Heaton, Roger Moore, Roger Walker, Roland Ridgway, Rolando Dion Salas, Romero Paul Hodges, Ron Ambush Kelly. Ron Ambush Kelly has been with me from day one. Ron has been down from day one. Ron has been steadfast. He's been going through some things, as we all do, but he hasn't used that or allowed that to be an excuse. So, Ron, thank you very much for your support, brother. You've been down from day one. I want to let you know, man, I got you. I got you. Ron Jones, Ronald Thomas, Ronald Williams, Ronan Martin. Is there anybody who doesn't know Ronan Martin? This Negro gets around. You heard me? He gets around. Ronnie Daniels, Roosevelt Pitt, Roscoe Tarver, Rosemary Charles, Roz Donaldson, Reuben Warren II, Reuben Jr., Rudley LaFontaine, Ruffino Art, Rufus Watson, Rukia Black Blazer, Russell C. Clark, Ryan Bellew, Ryan Howard, Ryan Lee. Ryan Lee is another one of our unsung heroes. Ryan Lee is another one of our unsung heroes. You all don't know him, but I do. And Ronald is one of our unsung heroes. So, brother, they're not going to sing any songs about you. They're not going to write any poems for you. They're not going to make any movies on your behalf. I just want you to know I got you. Wait a minute, did I say Roland? I know I didn't say Roland. I'm pretty sure I said Ronan. I'm pretty sure I said Ronan. Y'all know full damn well Roland Martin can't get nothing here but a whole bunch of dissing. So I'm pretty sure I thought I said Ronan Martin. But if I messed that up and said Roland Martin, you know I'm not giving out no props to him. Ronan Martin. I'm about to say, when somebody in the chat room talking about I said Roland, I'm pretty sure I said Ronan. Ronan, like a masterless samurai, Ronan. In any case, y'all know full damn well, Roland Martin, I don't give a damn. That nigga, he needs to pay us every week. He needs to do that. He owes reparations. That nigga owes reparations. You know it. Ryan Lee, maximum props, maximum shout out to you, brother. Ryan Joyner, S. Cole, S. Holmes, S. Thompson, S. Diverse One, Sarah Kamina, Sabrina F. Miles, Sabrina Scott, longtime listener, longtime supporter, Sabrina Scott. Thank you very much, sister. Sabrina McIntosh, Salim 75, 72511, Sam Bat, Sam Baya, Somali Waizwa, Samantha Alexander, Sammy Moultrie, Sammy Chambray, Samuel M. Wembley, Samuel R. Lewis, Samuel Alarape. You all already know I'm down with you, brother, from the cradle to the grave. Samuel Tamby, Sandra LeBrun, Sanka Tula C, Sanupsi. All right, Sanupsi. Saul Burney, Sean D. Pappas, Sean A. McMillan, Sean Campbell, Sean Chisholm, Sean Douglas, Sean Early, Sean Fenty, Sean Gaines, Sean Holmes, Sean McDonald, Sean Q. Covington, Cedric Dion Johnson, Selu Gubando, Sergino Delia, Seth Philip Vaughn, Shalia Bay, Shady Llewellyn, Shina McGahee, Shamar Johnson, Shamiqua Starnes, Sham God Blue, Shan Harvey, Shane Alexander. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you very much for your longstanding support over the years. I don't get enough opportunities to thank you or whatever the case may be, but Shane Alexander, thank you for holding it down for us for summers and winters and years. Thank you very much for your support, brother. You've always been on it. And I know If nobody else knows, I know. Shane Lawrence, Chanel Madison, Sharif Baya, Sharice Hendricks, Sharon Johnson, Sean Ballantyne, Sean Henry, Shantae Lazard, Shantae Brown, thank you very much, sister. Siobhan Blue, Sean Davis, Sean Edwards, Sean Gilchrist, Sean Harvey, Sean Larson, Sean Perry, Sean Riddick, Shantai Thompson, She Early, thank you very, She Ely, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. You've been holding it down for us. Sheena Weeks, not to be confused with Sheena Howard. Sheila Nurmorin, Shelby and Jacinta Davis, Sheila S. Moore, Shelly Stewart, Shelly A. Logan, Shelmar, Shelton Bowie, Shin Terrell, Shanae March, Sharice Koch, Sherman Marshall, Shermel Williams, almost said Sherwin Williams, Sharonda Edwards, Sherrod Staten, Shirley Pendleton, Siobhan A. Wiggins, Siobhan Pierre. Thank you very much for your support. Sean L. Walker, Shonda Wallace, Shantes Jones, Shorty 101, Sydney Weirdmoon, Simon Forbes, Simtuck 1, Sir Charles, Sister Tubman. Thank you very much for your assistance, Sister Tubman. That's the counterpart to Ronan. You and Ronan might want to hook up because the both of you get all the way around. The both of y'all get all the way around. Y'all might want to have some kids. They would be some busy little sons of guns, let me tell you. S. Logan, 0085, Smith Mabel, 33, Snaps Bell, Solo T40, Sophie Gumbert, Spawn AL, Speedy J, S7 2009, Stacy Blaylock, Stacy Kincaid, Stacy Mitchell, Stylecom Shabazz, Steph Sports Better, Stephen Pinner, Stephen Thomas, Stephanie Palacio, Stephanie Mitchell, Stephanie Gothi. Stephanie is one of my day one people. I give Stephanie a bunch of hard time. I give her a hard time behind the scenes. You all don't know. Stephanie needs hazard pay and combat pay just for dealing with me. She really does. But credit where credit is due. Thank you, Stephanie, for being there all this time and for letting me carry you all this time, quite frankly. Stephen Knox Neal, Stephen D. Robinson, Stephen Hawkins, Stephen L. Urban, Stephen Moore, Stephen Henry, Stephen Peters, Stephen Pettis II, Stephen Simmons, Steve Jones, Stephen Magisa, Stevie Edwards, Steerda, Sule Oladela, Suleiman Alaji, Sumter Thomas, Surrender Shebrolu, Sylvanus Burton, Symphony Watford, TB, T. Dennis, T. Stafford, T.P., T. Payne, Tobias Smith, Taharqua Black, Taya Bello, Takima Parks, Tamara Davis, Tamala Lowry, Tammy Stinnett, Tanasha Hilton, Tanisha Sumye, or Sumler, Tanya Cole, Tariq Kindtuck, Tariq Rushton, Tasha Smith, Tawan Gibson, T. Christian 24, Terry Bryant, Tanisha Bridges, and Ahmoud Thomas, Tanea Keith, Terrence Grant, Terriana Richardson. Put all that together in one, no spaces. All right. Tara J. Sinkevicius. You must be Greek. Tara J. Sinkevicius. Terrence Donnell Taylor, Terrence Johnson, Terrence Williams, Terrell A. Johnson, Terrell Ahmed Roberts, Terrence Snell, Terrence D. Welch, Terrence Gerard, Terrence Tweed, Terrell Butler, Terriona Nikasta, Terry Robertson Sr., Tepsa Sion Habibo, Tashima Burt, Thaddeus and Shaquita Graham and family, Thaddeus Cooper, Theo R. Hampton, the Don J.P., the Jet I. Shanae Jones, Theodore P. Fields, the real Mark C., the South Made King, 99, Thurston Howell, Thokanzi Fakude, Thomas Antonio Jackson, Thomas E. Mackley, Thomas from Columbus, Thomas Moore, Thomas Shields, Thomas Strother, Thomas Wilson. Thomas is a different Thomas. Tiffany Adams, Tiffany Brown, Tiffany Gray Jones, Tiffany Griffin, Tigers, Lions, Cheetahs. No, I'm serious. Tigers, Lions, Cheetahs, Tigist O, Tim C, Timothy B. Strong, Timothy Castillo, Timothy D. Kennedy, Timothy Goldman, Timothy Lawrence, Timothy Moore, Timothy Morgan, Timothy Savala II, Timothy Smith, Timothy Blewett, Timothy Ukebu, Tina 1157, Tisha Lockett, Tito Mack, T Kyle 3330, I'm sorry, T Kyle 3377, T L Causey, T Maria Fam 5, Tobias Ofori, Todd B. Keel, Todd Garner, Tom Bennett, Tom Terrio 6, Tanya Bryant 44, Tony Mack Jr., Tony Walker, Top Quality, Taurus Bates, Tracy Johnson, Tracy K. Adams, Tralick Dixon, Travis Brown, Travis Coleman, Travis Duck, Travis L. Sells, Traxis, Trellis Frazier, Trevor Bernard, Trey W., Trosco B., Troy Brown, Troy Bowden, Troy Richardson, Tashaka Scott, Shimon Kinga, Turk McKenzie, Ty Ngozi, Tiana Cambridge, Tiasha Epps, Tyree Stevenson, Tyrek Covington, Tyrus McKnight, Tyrone Davidson, Tyrone Smith, Tashawn Bland, Taishi Emery, Ultimate Claim Services, Unity, Namboze, Uthman, Admo Fayanya. Thank you very much for your long-time support as well, brother. Valerie Blakely, Valerie Hodges, Van Andy Pevelis, Vanessa Small, Vernon Fairley, Vernon Hutchinson, VHRRT1, VICI, first name VI, last name CI. Vinny, Vici, Vicky, I came, I saw, I conquered, I guess. Victor E. Solomon, Victor E. Ayekapolo, Victor Ameli, Victor Fannin Jr., Victor Marino, Victor McFraser, Victor Richards, Victor Taylor, Victor Tooks, Victor Vincent, Victor White, Victor D. Washington Jr., Vincent Johnson, Vincent Walker, Virgilio F. Myers II. Visa declined. According to Indiegogo, your visa was accepted. So visa declined, your credit's better than you thought it was. B.M. Jones, Wade Hampton, Wahid Abdullah, Wally M. Gibson, Walter Griffin, Wanda Harper, Warren DeMalge, Warren Stanfield, Warren Morombe, Wayman Ray, Wayne Pierce, Web Cammy Jack, Web Cammy Jack. All right, the porn people are represented. Webster 773, Wendy Morris. Hadn't heard from Wendy in a while. What's going on, Wendy? Stop being a stranger. Akashi Masego, don't be a stranger, girl. Wes Harrison, I'm putting you on Front Street. Yes, I am. Wes Harrison, Wesley S. Preston, Weston Alexander, Whitney Jones, Whitney Mims, Will Wright, Willette Hughes, William H. Cameron Jr., William Hall, William O'Hall Owick, William Patterson, William Scott, William Thompson, William Thomas, William Thompson, William Wright, William B. Lee 28, William Dunlap III, Willie Neal Wide, Willis M. Richardson, Wilson Joel, Wise God 7, Woodley Victor, World Class AT 42, W.R. Downridge, Wakanda Weddle, all right, Gente 125, Gabby Woods, thank you very much for your contribution. We appreciate that. Yannick Simpson, Y'all A. Messiah, Y'all Afi Barobe, Yek Carker, why not be melanated? Well, that was kind of cute how you did that. Why not be melanated? Joseph Rashidi, Ivanda McDaniel, Yahoo Yuam, Young Herd, Eunice Abdullah, Yusuf Clark, Zach Pender, Zachary X. Haynes Sr., Zara Wren, and Johnsbury Jackson. In addition to that, though, I'd like to go a little bit further, if I may. In addition to that, In case I missed it, Taisha Essex. Thank you very much. But I also want to give a shout out to the people. The only reason I don't want to say your names is because if you contributed through the super chat or the Cash App, you might not want me to do that. So that's the reason I'm not going to say your name. But for everybody, I am going to say that nigga Pookie Jenkins. Now I am going to say that nigga Pookie Jenkins, I think that's Walter. But Walter Scott, not Walter Scott, but my man Walter Kelly. I think that's him. If it's not, don't worry, I'm putting it on you anyway. But that nigga Pookie Jenkins, I am going to put you out there and say thank you for your contribution. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I did that for a reason. I did this for me personally. Those are the contributors to Race War. Those are the people who helped to put white supremacy on the run in our time. Those are the people who put their money where their mouths are. Those are the people who were uncompromising. Those are the people who held it down. Those are the people who didn't give lip service. And I do this after every film that I make and every crowdfunding because I'm trying to make one simple point. You are not just a number to me. You're not just a number. I read every single name of every single person who put skin in the game, no matter how big or how small. I do every single one of those. I do that. I do it because I want you to know you're not just a number. You're not a number to me. You're real people. You are real people. And you're not just real people. You're my people. You are my people. And if you are willing to go this far for me, someone you never met, most of you never met, a lot of you have, but if you're willing to go this far for me, then I've got to be timeless. I've got to be indefatigable. I've got to work weekends and holidays when big fat bastards like Roland Martin are sitting around stuffing their obese faces. I'm out here digging and getting the work done. So when other people are taking time off, I'm hitting the clock. And you've been able to document this about me summers and winters. Meanwhile, niggas out here clout chasing and want their face seen all the damn time and ain't doing a damn thing. So who you gonna back? The niggas trying to get seen and ain't doing nothing, or the fellas who ain't got time to see you because they too busy getting your work done? You are not just names. You are not just numbers. You are my people. And for everybody who's been consistent, as you can see here tonight, I know who my people are. I know who my people are. I know who you are. I tracked you over the years. You hold it down for me, I'm holding it down for you. Till the day they bury you. But if I have anything to say about it, you're going to have something to pass on to your children. They're going to have a better world than you have. They're not going to be living in a fog with people so willing to sell them out. That's not going to be the norm. If I'm dedicating my life to making sure that Black folks selling each other out ain't the norm anymore. You're not just a name or a number. You're my people. You are my people. And me, I'm your servant. Don't ask who I am. I'm just your servant. And it has been my honor No, it has been my privilege to serve each and every one of you these past 2 years. It has been my privilege to give my silent service to all of you for all these years. I can think of no higher calling. I can think of no greater love than to lay down my life for my people. I have been pulled over by the police. I have been investigated by the FBI. I've got situations that have arisen. I'm not going to complain about them. It's just going to be. It's just going to be. But I want you all to know it's been my honor to serve you faithfully for the last 30 years in total, but the last decade and a half, honestly, but specifically the last decade, it has been my privilege to serve you. It has been my privilege to be here. And I can't wait to take us into the next 10 years. So as we leave 2019, the final broadcast of the Black Channel Radio program of 2019, as we go into 2020, I want you all to rededicate yourselves to being unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. We're going to have people. There's going to be problems to overcome. That's the condition of Black people. You're going to have traitors in your midst who are going to be working and scheming to sell you out. You're going to have wolves in sheep's clothing, talking the talk, saying African, saying Black, saying descendants of slaves, but they are really the henchmen of the white supremacists trying to get extra slick, thinking that they're going to dismantle this from the inside. But you have to understand, as I taught you all before, as Amos Wilson has said, we need to build something so strong that they are not able to dismantle it. That we don't have to look for conspiracies because we are so strong that no conspiracy, even from the inside, cannot dismantle us. I want you to dedicate yourselves to house cleaning. I want you to dedicate yourselves anew to being uncompromising about the interests of your people. I want you to be about your money. I want you to take on a money-making mindset. Because broke ain't gonna win no revolutions. I want you to get yourself financially straightened out. And as always, as I've done for a decade, if you need help with that, the telephone number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Where we have been helping people now for a decade. The calls that I get, the emails I get, the private messages I get from young Black men in specific, but young Black people, period, older Black people who've been able to get their credit together. We've demystified this for them. They're doing things they didn't think they could do. They can start a business. If they don't want to start a business, they can at least maximize their earning potential. But I want you to understand this is what I'm living for. And as we go into 2020, some of the folk who were in 2019 with us ain't gonna make it into 2020. And that's good. Because you got all kinds of Judases standing around you and they're going to attempt to deceive the people. And there will be weak individuals. You've always had that. You're always going to have the weak. You're always going to have the weak who demand and desire to be led astray. And that's okay. We need the dead weight off of us. We need to be a lean, mean, muscular machine. And that's what we are becoming. We're getting in shape. We're shedding the fat. We're hitting the bricks. We're hitting the gym. We're hitting the weights. We're not getting smaller. We're getting less obese. We're not getting skinnier. We're getting fit. And it has been my honor to walk this journey with all of you for the last decade. And as we begin the next decade, We're going to dedicate ourselves to tangibles. We're going to dedicate ourselves to prosperity. No more people selling us poverty as nobility. No more people selling us suffering and struggling as a euphemism for Black. No more people telling us that money don't matter. And no more people telling us that we are not as powerful as we need to be, including economically. We are going to overturn this white supremacist system and build a Black economy no matter what happens. But you're going to give us our reparations anyway. But understand this, you're going to get overthrown with or without it. So you can give it to us now, or we'll empower ourselves. We will take it. But you're going to come up off of it. And we are going to be prosperous no matter which way the pendulum swings. You damn right. No baby bonds, no government jobs, no LGBT programs. We gonna build it ourselves, but you still gonna unask what you owe us. We are gonna build something that's gonna make the Black Wall Street look like one of them old hole-in-the-wall clubs you used to visit. And it's going to make the white Wall Street look like the bad side of town. That's where we going. How the hell are you going to compare a skyscraper to a pyramid? This is where we're going. And I'm privileged and honored to serve you all. My only hope is that going forward, I can serve you better. I only hope that going forward, I can serve you better. 10 years ago, we had 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers. Today on YouTube alone, we got 86,000 and rising. And this was just the first 2 years. Wait till you see where we're going. I wanted to acknowledge you all. I want to thank you all. Those I have named, those I have not. You are my brothers. You are my sisters. You are my sons. You are my daughters. I have made these sacrifices on your behalf. And it has been my honor to do so. And my only regret is that I could not do more. That's the only thing I regret. Now, going into 2020, you are going to eat this, drink this, sip this, think this, breathe this, feel this, live this, love this, everything we are. Black first. And this concludes tonight's broadcast, the end of a decade, the final program of 2019, going into the first program of 2020, of the Black Challenge Net video program. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, to all of my brothers, all of my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is Black.